When you look at Nikki Howard's IMDb page, surprisingly, she has done, mostly horror films. House of Darkness, Bright Side, Beyond Paranormal. So, on one hand, you're doing comedy on YouTube, and to the perfection, you're doing it, right?
Yeah.
And in Hollywood, you're doing horror films.
If I'm looking at a Stevie Emerson video, like my target audience is pretty much a guy who's, in his early 20s or mid 20s, who's probably not married, I guess.
And I was just checking, how many views their videos are getting. Even the 4-year-old videos are getting hundreds of views per hour. The videos are still going viral in some parts of the world. I don't know.
Would you mind watching a Stevie Emerson in like a Hollywood film where he's like, a second support or something, like, he's a supporting cast? Or do you like, no, he's a YouTube guy. Like, I don't think he can crack it. Okay, hello. We are back with another episode of Creator Deep Dive. Apologies for not coming on last week. We had some other appointments. But this week, to make it up to you, we have not one, but two creators that we're going to be covering. Stevie Emerson and Nikki Howard. But before we introduce them, I want to say hi to Shubham. Shubham, hi, what's up? Good morning. How are you doing?
Hello, everyone. Yeah, doing fine, man. And always a pleasure to do CDD with you. Talking about creators, that's what we do. Yep.
Exactly. No, I think very fascinating creators because they are people who've pretty much for the past 2-3 years, or probably even more than that, you've seen them on your feeds, right? You probably won't know their name. For example, full disclosure, right? I couldn't recall their names immediately, but once I saw the face, once I was like, oh, of course, it is
Of
Stevie
course.
and it is
Yeah.
Nikki. You have seen them. You've probably been forwarded their videos on your WhatsApp chats or probably your Facebook Messenger
Facebook,
group.
Instagram. Yeah,
Instagram,
they're everywhere. Yeah.
they're really everywhere, and they're such a power couple in that sense, like a power actor. Both of them are like this duo which do that. I mean, they have such great skills, right, in terms of acting. But Shubham, as a initiation for this video, I actually want to start with the IMDb. Okay, I want to start with reading the credits because I think it is too funny and it's something that should not be missed. Okay, so I'm
Yep.
going to read out Stevie Emerson's IMDb credits, and everybody, I hope you all are ready for this because he's known for. So Stevie Emerson, I'm on IMDb right now. He's known for Dude, Where's My Jewel, which is the TV miniseries. Another video called The Most Successful One Night Stand. Another TV mini series called Raw Dogs. And last but not least, a short film called Texting Fat Dudes. So that's I mean, do I need to explain
Insane.
what else or what zone our man Stevie is into? Like,
Yeah.
he's really fascinating. What are your thoughts on that, Shubham?
And when you look at Nikki Howard's IMDb page, surprisingly, she has done, mostly horror films.
Horror
Like,
films?
House of Darkness, Bright Side, Beyond Paranormal. So, on one hand, you're doing comedy on YouTube, and to the perfection, you're doing it, right?
Yeah.
And in Hollywood, you're doing horror films.
Right.
It's just amazing how a creator can be, having many aspects to their journey.
I think perhaps my explanation to that is that horror films almost veer into the side of comedy, like they become comedy films after a while because the irony is lost and gained both. So I think it's just very funny, but it's obviously very fascinating how they've done it, right? But
Yep.
very importantly, Shubham, for these two creators, what really stands out for me is the format that they're doing, right? It's sketch comedy, right? So if I were to look at Stevie's catalog back from even, let's say, a few years ago, a couple of years ago, even pre-pandemic, he was
Yep.
actually doing very similar videos, right? He was
Yeah.
doing that
Similar
sketch
videos.
format.
Yeah.
Meeting your ex-girlfriend in
Yeah,
the
when
park.
you run into your ex, the Shark Tank with your girlfriend.
Of
Now he
course,
recently did, Shark Tank with your ex-girlfriends.
ex-girlfriend. I saw that. Exactly. So his format has almost been tried and tested,
Yep.
and he's
Yep.
okay with that because his audience loves it. His audience
Yeah.
loves these
Yeah,
slight
they love it.
tweaks to the this thing. But and so is the same on Nikki's channels as well. We've seen it on Nikki's channel that she's giving her perspective. Of course, her channel isn't as large as Stevie Emerson. Stevie's of course been on the game for quite a while, and he has quite a few subscribers as well. But both of their channels, they are
Yeah.
focusing on sketch content. But I want to talk about a larger picture here, Shubham, which is what is up with sketch content? We have seen such fewer and fewer people have been doing sketch comedy. Do you think people have lost the taste for sketch comedy? Do you think, like, remember the college humor days,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
this
yeah.
24
Absolutely, yeah.
14 15? BuzzFeed also tried their hand. Everybody was doing it, and these folks were also doing it then, but only few have survived. What do you think
Yeah.
is the state of sketch comedy, and why are they sort of succeeding at it still?
I think they're succeeding because they're good actors.
Mm,
And most of the people we used to, see earlier, they're not great actors. They were being self-effacing. Let's say in
mm,
those videos, they knew like we are doing this to make people laugh,
mm.
but these people are doing it to such, perfection.
Right.
They're into it. So I believe the future of skit comedy is, it's going back in the hands of actors again.
Hmm. Yeah, because a lot of non-actors have sort of tried it, and, like, it just
Yeah,
didn't work out. I think in the long run for many brands, and for many channels, I think they just pivoted and they just start doing something else. And let's also not forget their short form strategy, Shubham, which is again just content cut downs of their sketch comedy,
yeah,
right? So they
correct.
essentially have, so they're doing sketch comedy, let's say, as a long form, which again, when I'm saying long form, if I even go to the YouTube channel right now, the videos aren't very long, right? Like, let's
Yeah,
say if I'm averaging, there
six
is
to
a video
seven.
which is,
How
yeah,
much?
which is 5 minutes, three
Yeah,
minutes,
yeah,
probably I can see like a 5 minute, 8 minute as well. So these videos aren't necessarily long form in the truest sense of the YouTube. Like, now there's the whole YouTube thing, right? And that, okay, 15 to 20 minutes is a good range and all of that. They're bucking the trend. They're like, you
yeah.
know
They
what,
are
boss,
working
we don't
different.
want to do that, right? We
Speaking of
really,
that,
yeah.
look at their videos. There are no thumbnails. They are
There are
just
not there.
they're
I
just
swear. That's such
emoting
a good
on.
observation.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
not playing by any rules.
Any rules, right? Because I think that's the thing. They're not playing by any rules, and the rules that they were playing with, like the format that they haven't changed
Yeah,
that. It's
it's the same.
requires so
You're
much
right.
of
Because
rigor to
yeah,
stick
yeah.
to your ground.
Whenever I see a new video, it feels like I've already seen it, but I still want to watch it again.
Correct.
So
Correct.
that's, that goes for consistency because they come up with the most creative skits featuring the most beautiful people, man.
Right.
We have to talk about it. The most
Yeah, I think
beautiful
for
girls they
sure.
feature. I mean,
No, for
I think
sure.
that's a conscious strategy. Just like,
Yeah,
news channels, they feature the most good-looking news anchors,
sure.
be it anyone. So I think that also plays well because
No, it
their
does,
videos
right?
trend
Because
on Facebook a lot,
yeah.
and to trend on Facebook a lot, you need certain kinds of things like this.
Yeah, right. Because if I'm looking at a Stevie Emerson video, like, my target audience is pretty much a guy who's, in his early 20s or mid 20s, who's probably
Yeah,
not married, I guess. Or even if might be, I mean, who am I to judge, right? And they sort of share this with their friends group. This is such a typical friends group. And of course, I wouldn't say that it's like overtly problematic, or like, it's too
nothing
sexist
like
and
that. Yeah,
whatnot. It's
yeah,
not like that, but yeah, it is tongue in cheek for sure, right? it
yeah,
is
yeah,
it is
yeah.
they do want to speak about, like, there are obviously sexual innuendos, because they
Yes.
wear it on their sleeves. Yeah, we are
Yeah,
talking about sex. It's a very normal thing, right? Because if it's something that you discuss within your groups, it's definitely something that you can watch as a representation too, right? So the beyond the right and the wrong, it's actually a true representation of, let's say, how guys talk, right?
yeah,
Of how even women talk, probably. So that, I think, is been very rightly captured by these folks, right? And it's very interesting to see how they have used both short form as a conduit, and not something which is very, okay, today I'm going to tell you about this. No, it's still that content itself. So they've created this entire image that the Stevie is the Stevie through the videos itself, right? Like, the
yeah.
videos in terms of the
Exactly.
sketches. You don't know much about,
Exactly.
like, how much do you know about Stevie, Shubham, if I were to ask you, or Nikki? Like, I don't know, like,
It's just
uh
that they are great actors. That's
yeah,
it. That's what
correct,
I know.
correct.
And to be honest, I don't want to know anything else
Yeah.
because that's the way old Hollywood has worked so far, right?
Yeah.
Like you just act, you don't talk about your life, and these people are just doing shit, and they don't care about any strategies, any kind of algorithms. They're just
Yeah.
doing their thing.
They're
The
just doing
same
it.
thing in the last
Correct,
4 hours, and I was just
correct.
checking how many views their videos are getting. Even the 4-year-old videos are getting
Hmm.
hundreds of views per hour.
Is
So
it?
it's not like they have they have plateaued or something.
Hmm.
The videos are still going viral in some parts of the world. I don't know.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And even look at there, something as basic as and you know what you said about a he's a true blue YouTube actor, right, Stevie Emerson, because
Yeah.
even his banner right on his YouTube channel, you like, for example, it's a good contrast we did with JB's video last week, where we had so much, okay, it's in a desi, a lot of people sitting with mics, this that. You know what his banner says? New vids every week. That's it. So
Yes,
that, I
that's it.
think, is a very good embodiment of what their philosophy is. That, boss,
Yeah.
we are creators. Every
Yeah.
week you'll have some sketch, something funny, something relatable, something that you'd want to send to your friends group. We will release it every
Of course.
week. You all will watch it. Nothing else. No other riffraff. I think it's a very clean model, but I don't think everybody can pull it off. Right? They have reached here only after a very long time, and after a lot of effort, I'm sure, because some of their skits they've gone really viral, right? Because the one with Wolf of Wall Street, I think that was ingenious. Like
Amazing, amazing.
that
Yeah.
itself sketch, I think, was pretty much went viral, and it was a landmark in terms of how you could replicate the bro humor into, like, like something taking over for Wall Street, and just converting that into this very
Yeah. Yeah.
into the sketch that's so relatable, and almost, again, very tongue in cheek, right? Like, this
Yeah,
is very
that's the
uh,
thing about their humor, right? Because they
correct,
use popular, pop products like Shark Tank, the
correct.
films. They just do it in their own way, in
Do it
very
in their own
short
way.
form. Because if you remember, Mr. Beast also did a Squid Game on his
Mm,
own, right?
yeah,
Very long video, very long form video,
correct,
very fun
correct.
video. But these people will do that in 6 minutes,
Yeah.
and you'll get it.
You'll
You'll
get
get
it.
it.
Yeah,
Why it's funny.
correct, correct. Yeah, I can definitely see it, but But tell me about this, right? That begs an interesting question. Right? Like, we spoke about long form and they're doing this, but would you see, or would you mind watching a Stevie Emerson in, like, a, I don't know, if not A list, but like a B list Hollywood film where he's like, a second support or something, like, he's a supporting cast, or do you, like, no, no, he's a YouTube guy. Like, I don't think he can crack it for Hollywood.
I
What
think
are your
if
thoughts
he's
around it?
doing what he's doing on YouTube, let's say in a film, I don't mind even an A-list film
Hmm.
if he's there. I would certainly want to watch Nikki in a A-list movie because she plays that crazy ex to the perfection, and she can
He
bring
lives up to
such
the stereotype, I think. Yeah.
yeah she can bring amazing comic reliefs in a film,
Yeah.
and I wouldn't mind watching them because anyway I plan to watch these films which they've
Right.
already done
Right.
to see what kind of work they've been doing so far.
Yeah.
So I mean I would like to watch more of them.
Right.
Doesn't matter if it's YouTube or films or wherever. Yeah, but
Correct.
no,
Correct.
I would not want to watch their podcast because I don't want them to be real in front of me. I just want to be doing the shit.
That's interesting you mentioned that, Shubham, because Nikki Howard actually has a podcast. I wouldn't
Hmm.
say that it's too successful, right? It's called the Sorry Mom podcast. Just for a reference, she's been creating content here, or she's been running this podcast for more than 4 years, right? Now, someone like a Nikki doing it for 4 years, she has about 6.48K subscribers here, right, and about 253 videos, and sure, content is funny, it's relatable, again, like, focused on that genre, and like, speaking of, obviously, to a lot of women as well. But the videos aren't averaging, they're pretty much below 1K, and, like, pretty much in the, or below 2K, in that range, right?
Yeah,
So I wouldn't say
makes
it's,
sense. Yeah,
yeah, I wouldn't say it's very and which is what, it's interesting that you mentioned that you wouldn't want to know more about her, because I wouldn't say that. We have seen a lot of creators, and we've covered this on Creator Deep Dive itself, that a lot of creators, they have a podcast and it does really well, right? Like, you have, of course, something like an Andrew Schultz, that, I mean, podcast was his pretty much a big
yep,
breakthrough moment with Flagrant. But with Sorry Mom, I don't think she's really
yeah,
cracked it. I think she's okay with it, because if you look at it, she's been uploading for a very long time now. It's been more than 4 years, as I mentioned. But she's okay. I think she's doing it on her own. Stevie, on the other hand, does not have his own show. Right?
that's
I
good
saw
for him.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
yeah,
good for him. So that's a very interesting thing, right? Like, a big lesson, I think, Shubham, from today's episode is, uh, you shouldn't do everything if you're not comfortable with it, right? Or
exactly.
you can stick to what's been what's
You
been
should
good. You
stick
don't
to
have
your
to
yeah,
create
and
very catchy thumbnails all the time, or you don't have to have a different format altogether, or your
yeah,
shots when you're doing something else. No, you are a guy who's known for this slackers comedy sort of a thing, right? You're known for this kind of comedy, tongue-in-cheek humor, as I have already mentioned. You do that, right? And people still watch you, people still consume, of course. the question remains that people will grow up, they will grow out, but there's always a new bunch of people who want to watch.
Yeah.
Ki, "Arey, yeah, I have a girlfriend now. Let's see how Shark Tank. Let's see how what this guy says in terms of a Shark Tank video and that sketch." So very big example. I think a very big success story in terms of Stevie. But last question, right, Shubham, for you is where do you think he can go from here, or where do you think they can go from here, both Stevie and Nikki?
I think they're expanding their cast
Hmm.
because you see, new people in their newer videos. So I think they're definitely, branching out. They are expanding,
Hmm.
but the overall tone, overall theme of their content is the same. And I wish
Yeah.
that it remains the same because I would love
Yeah.
to watch it even after 4 years. Yeah,
Yeah.
of course, with new, popular trends like Shark Tank, whatever is coming there.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I would want them to do basically the same thing
Yeah.
for the rest of their lives.
Rest of their lives. Wow, that's a very tall order, right there, Shubham. But no, for even for me, I would say that yes, I would want to. I wouldn't mind experimentation. Like I wouldn't mind like a behind the scenes of how they do it. Actually, that is going to be one of my major things because see, these people. I don't know how big their budgets are. I'm guessing not too large, right? Because of course they're creators now and everything, but how do they shoot? And it very good lighting, right? Like the production quality, honestly, sometimes it's like pretty good.
Amazing, amazing.
Like this
Yep,
is
yep.
pretty A grade stuff. So how do they do the behind the scenes? How do they script it? I think I'd love to see a sneak peek into that because they've been creating for so long. I'm sure they have some tricks of the trade that they've
I
developed,
would
and
hate it.
you'd
Yeah, I
hate it.
don't want anything about their process. I just
I
want
really
them
want.
to.
I really want to because I want to see how far they go from here. But let us know what y'all thought of Stevie Emerson and Nikki Howard. What should they do next? Are you okay with their content style that's been working for so long, or do you want some changes, some tweaks? Let us know in the comments below, and of course, please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already because we keep uploading new videos every week. That's all for now. My name is Shrivar.
My name is Shubham Tiwari.
All right, we'll see you next week. Bye bye.